going live in next 3 seconds, and yeah, it will go live in some seconds. Anyway, so I'm making you the host, Mandar. Where are you? You are here. What's wrong? Okay, we are already live on YouTube. Great. So Mandar, you're the host now. Can you see the option? Yeah, you're the host.
Yeah. Okay.
And please allow me to share my screen. Yeah,
I have it.
Great. So I'm sharing my screen. This is technically so risky to share the screen on, which is going live on YouTube. Okay. Great. Okay, great. So we are going to talk about, okay, what we're going to talk about today. So the focus for today would be to implement something on Ethereum network. So yesterday we talked about a theory. We talked about what is Ethereum, the basics of it. We have talked about smart contracts, gas fee. Today it's time to implement something. So we'll write a code where we are going to implement something using Ethereum. Okay, now what are the things we'll require here? The first thing is you need a Ethereum account, a wallet, right? Of course, right? If you want to do a transaction, okay, first of all, what code we are going to write? Let's do that way first. I want to write a code to replace banks, right? That's the ultimate aim. We want to replace banks, and to replace banks, you need to have an option of deposit and withdraw. That's the first thing comes to your mind when you hear bank, right? You can deposit money, you can withdraw money. So we'll do that. In fact, the same video is available on YouTube. So let's use the same example. Okay, now for that, we'll need a browser. So I will take my browser on this screen. Okay, so first of all, we need what? Yeah, we need an IDE to write the code. So there are multiple options using which you can write a code. We will be using online IDE for Ethereum, which is Remix. You can also use VS Code if you want, but there are some extra steps to do that. So that's the first thing. So we will be using Remix online IDE for Ethereum. Second thing we need here is okay, I talked about the language. Which programming language you're going to use? Should we use Java, JavaScript, Python? I saw some options on the Ethereum network that you can use it, but I'm not sure how. So we will be using the official language of Ethereum, which is Solidity. Okay, so to do that, we will be using Remix IDE. And you can see we got the Remix IDE here. Okay, so this is the Remix Ethereum IDE. I will click on that. Okay, this is how it looks, blank screen, yeah. So this is the Ethereum Remix IDE. Now it got changed in last 2 years. I've used this 2 years back and we got some new options. Okay, so basically the language which we are going to use here is Solidity to write our smart contracts. So just to reiterate what smart contracts are. So basically smart contracts is a way you can write an application which will run on the decentralized network. So whatever code you write, when you make a web application or whenever you make a web service, it normally runs on a central server. Example, Facebook, Google, any website which you use, they all are central servers. So you request something and then you get a response. Now, when you request, even if you want to add 2 numbers, example, if I go to Google and if I say 2 plus 3, now this is a calculation which is actually happening on the Google server. Now to add these 2 numbers on the server, we have to use some programming language. Maybe they have used PHP, maybe they have used JavaScript or Go, we don't know. But then as a developer, we need to write a code to achieve that. In the same way, if you want to build an application which will run on the decentralized network, we have to use some language. And that language here for Ethereum is Solidity. Okay, so how we are going to do that? So first of all, you can see when you use Remix, you will see these options. You have option of, okay, we have a file explorer. This looks similar to what you have in VS Code, right? We have a project structure somewhere here. We have some running options. And then this is a place where you will write a code. I can write some code here, okay, which is not working, but because I have to create a file to write a code. So let's create a file. Now, where do we create a file? So we'll do that in a contract, because whatever code you write, example, when you talk about Java, we write classes, right? In the same way, in Solidity, we write contracts. So what contract we're going to write here? So we are going to write a contract for a bank where I can deposit and I can withdraw money, right? So we'll do that. But then what should be my file name? So let me create a new file here. So this, I hope you can see my screen, everyone. Is it visible? Okay, great. So let me, I already have a code which I did some time back. Okay. In fact, I'm not going to use this IDE. The problem is, sorry, I'm not going to use this browser. The problem is, even if I write a code, to run the code, remember when we do a transaction on Ethereum, we have to pay a gas fee, right? Everyone remember? We have talked about it. For every transaction, we need to pay gas fee. And how much is the gas fee? It's around 1,700 rupees per transaction. So even if I deposit virtually, which I don't have a bank account, and if I deposit, let's say 50 rupees, for that, I have to pay 1,700 rupees as a transaction fee on the Ethereum network. And I'm not that rich to just pay 1,700 for one transaction, right? So we will be using some test networks. We will not be using the main network. I do have some Ethereum investment in real world, but I don't want to waste that money. So we'll be using some fake money here. Now, how do you get fake money? So first of all, you will get fake money in some kind of wallet. Now we will be using a wallet here, which works for the real money and fake money as well. And the wallet name is MetaMask. So we'll search for MetaMask. So if you see MetaMask here, what is MetaMask? So MetaMask is a crypto wallet, and it's a gateway to blockchain application. That means if you want to access a blockchain application, you can use MetaMask. So it provides a lot of features. We are going to use a plugin. Okay, so instead of downloading a different software, we will be using a web plugin. Okay, now this web plugin is available in most of the browsers. We can use this example. If I click on download now, you can get MetaMask on different browsers. One of the best browsers to work with crypto is Brave. So Brave is actually developed by the founder of JavaScript. So if I search for Brave web browser, let's go to the wiki of this, Wikipedia, yeah, it's here. So you can see it is actually developed by, do we see a name there? Oh, we can't see a name, that's weird. Okay, it's here. So you can see the CEO of Brave browser is Brendan Eich, who is also the founder of JavaScript language. Okay, so it's quite a good browser, and it's very good actually, because it's built on Chromium. And most of the awesome browser nowadays, they are built on Chromium, right? Even Edge, Microsoft Edge is built on Chromium. Okay, great. So we will be using MetaMask, which is a crypto wallet, and will not be installing that on Chrome browser. We'll be using a different web browser, which is Brave. Now you can go to brave.com. You can download the browser. It is almost same as Chrome. Okay, you can download the browser. I already have a browser with me, so let me open that. So this is how the Brave browser looks like. The awesome thing is, using Brave browser, you can actually earn cryptos. Okay, so you can, you can just search for some ads, watch the ads, and you will earn crypto. But the amount is way less. Instead of wasting that time, learn a new skill and you will earn more. Okay, so we'll be using this. And here, let me install the MetaMask extension. So I will just right click here. Okay, I can go to extensions and search for the extension, which is, okay, where do I search? Is it here? MetaMask. Okay. So I will click on download and yeah. So install MetaMask for Brave. Let me do that. Okay, so it says add to Brave. Let's do that. Add extension. So easy. Is it done? It's done. Yeah, you can see we got a MetaMask extension. I love to play this with this talk. Nice. Anyway, come back to topic. So you can see we got MetaMask. It says get started. So the first thing we need here is a wallet. Do we have a wallet here? Now, if you are using MetaMask and if you already have a wallet, you don't have to create a new wallet. You can just import the existing wallet. The advantage is if you already have some money in your existing wallet, you will get it here. Now, since I'm poor, I don't have a wallet. Let me create one. So I'm creating a wallet now. So you have to say, I agree. You don't have a choice, right? In the internet world, for every agreement, what you do is you say, I agree. We don't even read the agreement fully. So let me create a password. I will not tell you what the password is. So let me create the MetaMask account. And you can see we got a MetaMask account. It says secure your wallet, all those steps. We don't care. I don't have money. Okay, now this is important. You can actually use the secret recovery phrase as well if you want to recover your MetaMask account. But as of now, since we are doing only for testing purpose, I don't want to do all these steps. Remind me later. And we got our MetaMask account, and you can see how many ethers I have. 0. Right? So as I mentioned before, I'm poor, but what if we can earn some ethers? 1 ether will cost you around 3 lakh rupees. I want 5 ethers, which is 15 lakhs. How do I get those 15 lakhs ethers? Okay, it's very simple. The problem is we are working with the mainnet, if you can see. Right. So if you can see, we are on the main network. We have test networks here available here. Now, what's the difference between main network and test network? Now, if you go to Etherscan website, Etherscan. So if you go to Etherscan website, this is a place where you can see all the transaction happening. Example, if you know, maybe this is what, Amar, if you're there, this is what pseudonymous means. If you paste an address here, if you paste any address here and if you say search, you will see all the transactions here, right? But yes, you can't actually track a person, but at least you can track the transaction for a particular address. So difference between completely anonymous is you can't track anything. Example, black money, you can't track. But these crypto transaction, you can at least track with the pseudo address. But of course, getting a main person is a different thing. Okay, so you can actually enter address and you can see all the transactions, which we'll see in some time if we can have that. So let's go back to MetaMask. Okay, so the thing is, whatever transaction you do on the Ethereum will be coming here. And you can see that, right? So this is a main network. So in this world, whoever is using Ethereum network for the transaction, all the transactions will be available here. And you can see the current price of Ethereum, which is $4,000. And when I made a video on Ethereum in 2019, the price was $140. Just imagine when I was making that video, if I could have bought 1 ether at that time, only by paying around 10,000 rupees. In 2 years, I could have got 3 lakhs. Only if I can go back. Time machine. I'm waiting for it. Anyway, come back. So I just have to go back. Yeah. So basically, in the main network, you have to buy, right? Otherwise, you can use a test network. Now, why do we use this test network is because whenever you build an application, you need a place to test your application. So you can do that on test network. So we'll be using test network here. You have certain option. You got Robston, Kovan, Rinkibi, and how do you pronounce it? Doesn't matter. So there are different test networks available. You can use any of it. In my videos, I have used Rinkibi, but this time I will be using Robston. They're developed by a different company, but works in almost the same way. I guess they use proof of authority for the consensus. And then I was reading an article today, and I got some fun fact. I have also pasted that fun fact in the Discord. I hope you have read that. So most of the test networks are actually named after the substations in different city. Okay, so that's fun. Maybe in India also we'll be having substations soon in Mumbai, the underground metro. Maybe the metro name will be Vikroli. So we'll be having a new test network, Vikroli test network. That will be cool. Anyway, come back. So we'll be using Robston. And if I go to test network as well, I'm still poor in the virtual world. You can see we got 0 ethers. So let's get some ethers here. How do we get ethers? It's very simple. There are some websites where you can get the ethers for free, not the real ethers. So this is a website, faucet.dimensions.network. There are some other websites as well, but you can use this one. Now, this is where you need to paste your address, your account address, go back there and paste. So this is my address. And if I say, okay, I'm a human, trust me. Okay, it is testing me. Says struck. This is struck.
Okay, you can go for the buy option also there. In the buy, there will be the test ether option is there. Buy, test faucet. Yes.
Oh yeah, okay. We can
Yeah.
also use this.
You can get a 1 ether right now. Only 1 ether.
Okay. Oh, that's okay. This is also easy. So we can use this and you can click and you can get 1 ether. Otherwise, let me just continue with the step which I was doing, because this will give me 5 ethers. I know this is not a real world, but still 5 is better than 1. But I'm not able to prove myself that I am a human. Okay, finally. Oh, okay. So morning I have already requested for 1. Okay, cool. So let me just go with 1 ether here. Request 1 ether from the faucet. It will go into my MetaMask. Is it the first? Great. Connect. So it's connecting and I should have received, oh, there we got an error.
Did you get second time or the first time? If you click multiple times, it will show error, something like that.
Oh, right. I've tried in the morning. Should I use Rinkiby? Will it create issue for any test network or?
No, it is a network specific, I guess.
Okay, so let me try Rinkiby. So I have to connect a crypto faucet. And the only problem is, we have to do some task for Rinkiby. I don't want to.
Yes, Facebook or Twitter post, I know.
Yeah.
I can transfer you, give me address.
Oh, you're so rich. Okay, so I'm sending my.
Actually, I don't have too much. 2, I guess. 2 ethers, I guess. I will send you 1 ether. That is enough.
Okay, I'm happy with 1.
I have a 18 ether on Rinky Bhai.
How many?
18, 18.
क्या करते हो इतने पैसों का?
Rinky Bhai, I have, I guess, more than 18. It came from the Twitter post. Yeah.
Okay.
Just wait a minute.
Oh, Reshmi says I'm traveling. Okay. Muhammad says I think we can also use Discord for screen sharing. Yes. But is it stable? Is it? We need to test that. Okay. Shastri says faucet will give us ether, right? Time travel. Yeah, Raviteja, time travel. Raviteja, you can change the option to everyone instead of Navin Reddy so that everyone can see your comment. Okay, how much time it will take for the credit? I guess it normally takes 15-20 seconds for the transaction to get over.
Yes.
So if I go to my MetaMask and refresh, have you sent?
No, actually, I don't see anything in my network. Actually, Amarjit, do you have in the Rinky Bhai?
Sorry?
Amarjit was having some Rinky Bhai ethers actually.
Oh, you're sending Rinkiby or Robston? I guess
No, Robson I don't have right now. I consume
Okay.
in contacts, I guess.
Okay. So I've sent you my Rinkibi address itself. Otherwise, Amarjit, you can send one Rinkibi. Oh, one Ethereum on
Okay.
Rinkibi.
Okay, sir. Can you share the Rinkibi address, or it is same? I think.
Yeah, same. It's actually
don't
Rinkibi
know.
address which I've shared.
Okay. No, I haven't shared till now, but I try to share.
Okay. But my question is, does it really work? It should, right? It's a test network. Oh, I got 2 ethers. Who is sending it? Nice. Thank you. Okay, so you can see I got 2 eths from someone, I guess Amarjit or Rajesh, I'm not sure.
Yes, sir. I did that.
Okay, thank you so much for 2 eths. That's 6 lakh rupees. Thank you so much. Now let's go back to the MetaMask. And as you can see, we got 2 ethers, right? Now I can use this 2 ethers to do a transaction on the test network. So where are we writing the code? We are writing the code in the Brave browser. This is Brave browser. So which software we are going to use? So we are going to use Remix Ide for Ethereum. Okay, so you can see we have contracts. I already have the bank example. Let me delete that because I'm doing some experiment. Okay, not here. So we are creating a bank example. But the question arises, what will be the extension for the Solidity code? So for Java, we have .java. For JavaScript, we have .js. For Python, we have .py. In the same way, for Solidity, the programming language extension is .sol. So that is bank.sol. Okay, now this is where you have to write a code. So what code we are going to write here? So the first thing is you have to create a contract, right? So we can create a contract just by saying contract. Now this is almost same as what you do in maybe Java or C#. You had a class, right? When you create a class, it's almost same. You create a contract here. So what contract we are creating? We are creating a contract for a bank. So let me get a bank contract. Okay. Now every contract will have, it may have 2 things. The first one is it may have a state. Now what is a state? So state is basically a variable where you will store data. And also it will have some functions. Now, why do we need functions? To perform operations. Example, for a bank, maybe I will have my name. Maybe I will also have the account balance. As of now, let me only go for balance. I will say int balance. There is another data types as well, int 256 or int. So let's keep it simple as of now. Let's stick to int, which creates an integer variable. And the balance is my variable here. Simple stuff, right? Okay, now how do we initialize this balance variable? Maybe initially the balance should be every time you open an account, I want to at least keep 1 rupee in the account, right? So that you will not feel poor. So what I will do here is I will assign some initial value. Now in Java, if you want to assign initial value to a variable, what do you use? Anyone? You can try that in a chat window or somewhere. So normally what thing we use to initialize values? That's right. So Salahuddin says constructor. So let's use a constructor here. Okay, so how do we create a constructor? Just by using a keyword constructor. So it's just a syntactical difference, right? Ultimately, all the programming language have the same idea. What changes is the syntax. So we say constructor, and so this is how you define a constructor. You say constructor, open the curly brackets and close, and I mean to write the statements. Now this is where I will assign the balance, right? So I will say balance is equal to what's the initial balance? Let's keep it 1. Simple stuff, right? Now we got a contract, we got a balance, we got a constructor which will assign the value. Now, basically, I want three functions. The first function is to deposit money. The second should be withdraw money. And the third would be get balance. Okay, so first one, deposit money. So the way you do that is by creating a function. So you say function. I'm just minimizing the Zoom screen. It is very distracting. Okay, so let me create a function. And I will say function. Oh, first of all, it should be deposit, right? So function deposit, and this will take maybe some so when you say deposit, of course, you have to pass the parameter as well. So here you will say int amount. I want to transfer some money. So I will say int amount. You're passing some data. And then how do we withdraw? So from the balance, so we are depositing, right? So for the deposit, you will say balance is equal to balance plus amount. So whatever amount you are sending in the function, the same amount will be assigned to balance, I mean, to the existing balance. In fact, I can actually use a shortcut here, plus equal to the shorthand. Does that work? It is giving you error. No visibility specified. Okay, so this works. There are some other issues. Okay. Now let me also create another function for withdraw. So I will say function withdraw. Okay, now how much you want to withdraw? You can also specify amount. This is how much I want to withdraw. The same thing, balance is equal to minus equal to amount. And the third function which I want here is for the get balance, which will return me the balance. And I will say return balance. Simple stuff, right? So we got a contract, we got a constructor, we got three functions. Everything is so simple. Okay, it also gives me some, it's helping me here. For code deposit, it will take this much. For the execution cost, this much. Okay, so basically you have to pay ethers to do any of this stuff. Nice. Okay, what else? So will this work? Let's try. How do we compile this code? I always believe in errors. The more errors you get, the more you learn. So first of all, how do you compile this code? So do we have a compiler here? The answer is yes. You can just see on the left-hand side, we have an option here. And this is where you can click on compile. Now, this is a compiler version. You can see we have so many options here. You can choose any of the compiler version. Last time when I was working on Ethereum, it was 4.5, I guess, this version. And now today it's 8.7. It looks like a stable one. Maybe we can also use 8.10. But let's stick to 8.7, the default one. When you do something for the first time, don't try to complicate stuff. Let's keep it simple. Click on compile and compile this file. And we got errors. Where do we see the errors? I guess it's here itself. Okay, so it says the first error here. Syntax error. Sorry?
Access specifier is missing, I guess.
Yeah, that's right. So it says there is no specifier. So this function, I want to use it from the outside. So of course, from anywhere. So we can say public. In fact, all the functions need to be public because I want to call them. Okay, the next problem we have here is whenever you have a function which returns a value, we need to also specify it will return something. So it will say returns, but it also have to specify what's the return type. It is int. The way you do that in normal programming language, you say specify integer. In the same way here, you mention returns int. That's it. And I think this should work. Compile. Okay, did it work? Okay.
Sir, you're not specifying the pragma line.
That's right. So normally what you do in Solidity is you also mention the version of Solidity language. Now, the problem is with every new version of Solidity, they are doing a lot of experiments. So it's better to specify which version of Solidity you want to use. So I can specify the exact version which is mentioned on the screen, which is pragma. So the way you do that is by specifying pragma Solidity. And you mentioned the version number, 0.8.7. Let me know if this is the right syntax. I guess that's it. So compile. Okay, I don't think there's an issue now. Okay, so you can see it is giving you a warning, not an error. It says function state mutably can be restricted to view. Now, if you observe these three functions here, this function is modifying something. This function is modifying something. So whenever you have a function which is modifying the state, those are normal functions which will consume some transaction fee. But when you say get balance, you're not doing any changes here, right? You're just fetching the value. In this case, you don't have to pay the fees. And the way you can do that is by mentioning that it's a view. It's only for view. We are not modifying anything. And I think we are good. Let me just compile that now. Is it an error or the warning? Doesn't matter. Let's try. So I think it is done. I don't see any error specifically. Now, once it is compiled, go back to the next tab. Now, this is where you can actually deploy the application. This is where you can run the application. So first thing first. So we have to select an environment. Initially, we'll go for the JavaScript VM itself. So we'll use JavaScript virtual machine. And by default, it will give you 100 ethers to use. So thank you so much, Amajit, for 2 ethers. But JavaScript is giving me 100 ethers to use. And yeah, I think we should deploy the code. And it is getting deployed. I guess it's done, deployed. How do we run this?
There is a bank at something.
Yeah, just click on the right side arrow on the deployed contracts below that one.
Deploy contracts. There is a deployed contracts. You
Oh,
can
right.
access
Yeah,
that.
that one. Yeah.
The UI
Now you
has
mentioned the
changed a lot.
Yeah, it is changed.
Okay. Great. So now when I was using, there were specific tab names, run, compile, English words. Nice. Anyway, okay, so you can see we got 3 options. Now, how they know these 3 options is because of the function name. So we say deposit, we got deposit. We got withdraw, so we got withdraw. We got get balance, so we got get balance. Now, initially, I will go for get balance, which is very simple. You can see we got 1. Why do we got 1 here is because the initial balance is 1. But now I got some money. I will invest, let's say I have 100 rupees with me. So I will click on deposit and done. My deposit done. If I say withdraw, so if I say get balance, you can see we got 101. Now I want to say withdraw 50, done, get balance 51. It is so fast, right? Now this is how you run the application. Now the only problem here is whatever transaction you're doing is actually happening on the virtual machine, not on the network, not even test network. Okay. So basically we want to run this on a test network. For that, we need to change something. You can see the environment. Environment is JavaScript VM as of now. We want to use the test network, so we'll have to use injected Web3. And the moment you do that, you can see we got a pop-up here. MetaMask says, hey, you are trying to use the test networks or any other network, even the main network. In that case, you have to use an account, right? You have to use a wallet. So now I got a wallet here. So you can see we got an option. Now you will get this option only if you have this extension installed in your browser. So make sure that you first install the extension, then you try the code. And then when you click on next, connect. So it is connecting the Remix and the MetaMask. Now this is happening with the help of a JavaScript library, which is called Web3 library. So web3.js. So there's web3.js. This is a very famous library, which helps you to connect to the blockchain. So Web3 is a collection of libraries that allows you to interact with a local or a remote Ethereum node using HTTP. Okay, now this is actually very famous, but then currently we got a new one. So if you build a real life application, you can go for ethers.js. So we got ethers.js. So ethers.js is actually lightweight compared to Web3.js, and it has some extra benefits. So you can, for the new projects, they are using ethers.js, I think. And Web3.js was old one. But anyway, we are still into that learning phase. So it doesn't matter, is it Web3 or ether.js, both works. So we'll use that. Okay, so when I say inject Web3, we got the MetaMask notification as well, right? Where's MetaMask? Why you're closing, buddy? Yeah, so you can see by default, the Rinky test network is selected, but I can also run this on the main network. Now, the only problem is the moment I say deploy, it will get deployed on the main network and it will charge some fees. Let me just try that. So if I say deploy, confirm transaction, you can see it is saying confirm transaction, it will charge me a gas fee. Okay. So this is the maximum transaction fee. Now this amount is, I guess, 15,000 rupees, if I'm not wrong. If I say confirm, you know the best thing, I don't have funds. Paise bach gaye. Nice. So we'll not be using the main network. We will be using the test network because we don't have 15,000 rupees in my account. So I will just use the test network, which is which one we were using, I guess Rinky. Yeah, we got 4 ethers here, right? Now we can run this on Rinky. Now you can see we got Rinky, we got 4 ethers here. That's nice. And so we have 4 ethers. And now I can deploy this on the Rinky test network. Okay, so I can see I can confirm this, but before that, I just want to do one more thing. I hope I have my copied address in the chat. Let me just get that copy address. So let me copy the address. And before doing any of this stuff, let me go to the Rinky Etherscan. Remember Etherscan? In fact, let's go to Etherscan first and let me show you something. So when you go to etherscan.com and when you enter your address, you can see you will find nothing here. Because that's my Rinky address. So in that case, what you have to do is you have to go to what Rinky? No, I'm not searching for you. Don't send me ads.
RINKEBY. Yes.
Rinky Etherscan. Yeah. So this is the test network Etherscan where you can find this, my network. Yeah, you can see we got 4 ethers now. And I already did some transactions. So I got 2 ethers from this account. And I guess this is the address of this one. This is your complete transaction. How much? Or so you got this to almost how many days? 200 days. Nice. So this is how you can track the entire transaction. This is why we say it's a public blockchain. Everything is public. Now you can't get that in a real life, right? I mean, you cannot get my bank statement. So this is why we say don't stick to public blockchain. Anyway, that's a different topic. Now you can see we got those 2 transactions. I guess this is mine. Yeah, this is my transaction. I got 2 ethers from 2 different addresses. Okay, now what I want to do is I want to go back to my remix. Where is remix? Yeah, here. And let me say deploy. The moment I say deploy, and if I say confirm, you can see it will charge some fee for the deployment. But it will not be instantly, okay? It will take some time. You can say it says creation of bank pending. So it will take some time to create that, to deploy that. In the earlier state, when we mentioned the JavaScript VM, it was very quick because it was on the local VM. But now we are doing the test network, so it will take some time, maybe 5 seconds, 10 seconds. And you can see it is deployed. And now if I do this, let me say get balance, and get balance will be quick. You can see we got 1. How about deposit? If I say deposit 10 or maybe 100, the moment you click on deposit, every time because when you say deposit, it will try to change the state of a variable, right? So when you try to change the state, you have to pay a fees. Okay, you can see this fees. This is approximately 150 rupees if you try to convert. But anyway, we are doing that on the test network, so not a big issue. Confirm. And done. So it's happening. Yeah, it will take some time. But by the time it is happening, you can actually track all the transactions in this network. You can see we did all these transactions. So we got the contract creation. It happened 1 minute before. And if I refresh, okay, still not completed. Deposit. Deposited. Okay, so the deposit is not done yet, is it? Did I miss something? The block got executed. Why it was not deposited? That's weird. Let's do that once again. Maybe I was not. Let's try depositing again. Okay, new address detected.
What is the address, and what did you use the Java or the Rinky by above?
Rinky by.
Yeah, Rinky by.
Okay, I guess the address got changed, but why?
I think the address is same for the every test networks and mainnet. Only the network will change. Address is same per account.
Right. You can see the contract creation done again. Maybe I'm clicking the wrong tab there. So if I click on deposit now, and if I say confirm, okay. It happened 2 times. Something went wrong there. Okay, so you can see I'm saying deposit. It is working. If I can verify that with the transaction, it should be there. Now is it happening with the new address? This is the same address. Maybe just taking some time.
Money is deposited already, you can check.
Yeah, but yeah, it is deposited, but there should be a transaction right here.
No,
Why
that
is
will
not
be
yours?
out.
Yeah, it is now there. It is taking some time. You can see that it is now we got the deposit is also a transaction which will be reflected here. I was waiting for this one, these 2 transactions. Okay, so this is deposited. Now we can get the balance, which is, so again, balance is it's not a transaction which will cost something, right? So, because it is VO. But I can withdraw now. I can withdraw 30 and it should work. So again, for every transaction, you have to pay some fee. Now imagine if you run an infinite loop for something, for doing some changes. So you will be bankrupt in 50 minutes. Confirm. Get balance. Okay, something is not working the way it should. It's taking some time, a lot of time. Now it is happening to deposit, which we did earlier. And now if I say get balance, get balance, get balance. So the network is very slow, that's the issue. Oh, my video is off. Okay. Now it's on. Get balance, get balance, get balance, get balance. Okay, it's taking some time. If I say withdraw again, confirm. But you got the point, right? Every time you do a transaction, it will charge some fee, and you can see that changes here. You can see we got 241. So every time you do a transaction, it will charge some fee, and you can see all the transactions. So if you just have the address, you can see all the transaction in the list. So example, now I know that this address belongs to, let's say, so just wanted to confirm, Rajesh, you have also sent me some ethers, or it's only.
No, Amarjit.
Okay, both are Amarjit, right? So now just by clicking the address, I can actually see all the transaction of a particular person. This is the drawback. Okay, and this has actually been scary because, example, you have sent some money to this account, or maybe you have sent some money to this account. So if someone knows your address and you have sent some money to this account, they can actually track my account as well. So this is how they can backtrack everything, provided you know one account. So this is the issue with the public network. Now, why it's an issue? It's not actually an issue for normal people, but what about the enterprises? What if there are 3 companies or 3 to 4 companies like Apple, Samsung, Intel? Okay, Apple is not working with Intel anymore. But let's say there are different companies, and when Apple makes an iPhone, they buy the products from different companies. They get a screen from some other company. They get the motherboard from other company. They get other things from different companies, right? So if you want to maintain the supply chain, you need to take all this company into one network. Now the problem is, maybe when Apple is dealing with Samsung, Samsung don't want LG to know how much Samsung is charging Apple for a particular screen. So they will not be using public blockchain if that's the scenario. They need to go for private blockchain where only they are the nodes. Not anyone, not Navin can join a network where Samsung and Apple is dealing. Does it make sense?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So now we can open for Q&A. I'll take a pause.
So first question, what is the benefit of company they run, whose they run the test network? Why they maintain the test network? What is their benefit?
So that people will use their libraries. So I guess all this test network is built. Example, if you search for Rinkibi, let me search who is the founder of Rinkibi. Because all these big companies actually made this test network. So they have some other products as well. And they also make a test network. Okay, where do you find the company name? Yeah, so you can see the Rinkibi test network is developed by Get developer team. So Get is actually something to do with Ethereum. Is it runtime? Okay, let's go for Armstrong. Okay. When I was reading about it, it is developed by most different companies. So Kovan is by Parity. So basically this company, they also build other products. So this is just maybe a free use product for them so that people will join the other products as well. And sometimes it's not it's not always about money.
Who is get means who will get this gas amount means whenever any transaction we paid that gas fee.
In
Who
the
will
main
get that?
network,
Yeah, who will get that?
in the main network, it is the miners will get it.
Okay.
Yeah, in the test network, no one gets it. It's just that they show if you are testing the application, how much gas fee each transaction will take, so that you can predict your software behavior.
Okay.
Like basically in the test network, they just simulate the mining process, right?
Right. Any other questions? Anything you want to share, which was not part of the session which I conducted? Any
Not having
interesting facts?
not having idea on that, that if you have deployed and if you are canceling that contract, so it is not in use actually. So gas is consumed over there to miners. So it is repaid or it is lost. I guess it is lost.
Sorry, which one?
If I'm creating a contract and deploying on the mainnet,
Right,
and gas is consumed for that, right?
right.
So if I'm deleting that contract, it will not get refunded, right?
No, you will. I
Okay.
don't think you will get refund.
Yeah.
Because miners are working. Miners did some work to
Yes.
deploy your project. It's your mistake.
Whether we can delete the deployed contract.
Yeah, we can update. We can delete also. The
There is
question
a-
is, if we delete, what happens to the existing gas fee which we paid for the deploying the application? Will we get the refund? And I don't think we will get the refund.
Sir, I think we can't delete the smart contract.
We can,
Uh,
right? Why can't we delete a smart contract?
No, if we put into the blockchain, we
Mhm.
can't change it, right?
Yeah, it seems like it's an address. The smart contract will have that address. So
Yes, yes. If you're okay, if you lost that transaction ID for that contract, that's one. We cannot delete it. Yes. Right.
So you can set a timeline to destruct it. So what happens is, like, I mean, after whatever the duration that you mentioned, that the contract will run for so long, probably you can set a time for a year or 6 months, or automatically you can set a kind of a destruct timing for that one. The smart contract will destruct at that point of time, and it is no more available from that point on.
Understood. Thanks.
then again that destruction will lead to some transaction, right? So that again it will detect some amount.
Yeah, it
So-
will. It should.
Yeah, anything that is consuming as a fee, that will take.
From which account that?
Obviously, the owner's account, the one who has created the contract.
Yeah. So one of the option it shows is you can create a function, destroy smart contract, and you can change the owner, or you can call self-destruct function.
Yeah, that's what I said. Yeah.
But that's right. It will also eat some money.
Obviously, yeah.
Self-destruct function have to implement at the initial phase, or we can implement at the later time of maybe. I mean to ask.
Yeah. I believe you can also upgrade your smart contracts. I read it somewhere. How, I'm not sure, but you can upgrade your smart contracts.
Then so we have a issue now. Smart contract are open, and then that's why we believe in the smart contract.
Right.
But if we update and self-destruct, then how the trust will come? We say na ki a smart contract, we have open source, whatever the transaction is done, it is open for all, anyone can
Right,
see.
right. So even the new update is also open source, right? So if the updated source code is trusted, then of course you can keep that trust. Otherwise, you can just stop using the service.
Okay.
Sir, actually, smart contracts are immutable, sir. It cannot be deleted or it cannot be reversed. Smart contracts are irreversible.
That's right. That's right.
We cannot update also.
Right. So we can't change existing thing, right? But we can append something which will, example, let's say what if you negate what if you invalidate the address or
So by deleting this, like we are having in Python, immutable and immutable data types.
right.
Like smart contract is also a immutable data type, where you cannot delete, where you cannot reverse also.
Yeah.
But we can delete complete smart contract, not update or append.
How we can delete full smart contract? By
So,
self-destruct or
no.
Mangal, please take down this question.
Yeah.
Actually, there is no option to delete also. The Azure APIs are not able to delete. Like
Yeah.
if you are once deployed it, we cannot delete it also.
That's right. I got your idea. The main idea behind blockchain is not to delete anything, right? Everything is immutable. Once you edit, even if you do a mistake on blockchain, it's there as a history, right? But then you can deploy a new smart contract which will override the existing one, not overwrite, override. So instead of using the old smart contract, you'll be using a new smart contract. But the old smart contract is still there in the blockchain.
Yes, yes, sir.
Okay. What else?
so what topic we will learn in next class?
Tomorrow again we'll do something more in Ethereum. Maybe I'm trying to use VS Code as a development environment to write Ethereum code using hard hat for the local environment and Alchemy for the deployment. Alchemy
We
or-
will see in next class.
Yeah, tomorrow.
Yeah. Okay, sir.
And from Monday we'll start with the private blockchain.
Sir, I have one question.
Yes.
Sir, so why do we learn Solidity if it's using public blockchain like Ethereum, which is very transparent? We can
Yeah.
go private blockchain like Fabric, where there will be no such transparency in the transactions.
Right. So actually the thing is different use cases have different requirement. Example, for most of the use cases, public blockchain make much more sense. Example, voting system. Even you can build for cryptocurrencies. So all these things makes much more sense on the public blockchain. And that's okay even if you see the transaction happening because that is pseudo address, not the